I really want to bring out our first guest because this is terrific. I'm excited about talking with him. We've met on a couple occasions, but usually it's right after fights. He has unified the welterweight championship of the world in both the WBC and WBA, and he'll be defending his title again February 15th in Reno, Nevada, against the North American Federation welterweight champion Bruce Finch. And he's branching out, and he should. He has a television show starting this weekend all over the country called Sugar Ray Leonard's Golden Gloves. Please welcome the champion, Sugar Ray Leonard. I gotta tell you something. You can see how they feel, right? That's gotta be a great thrill when you hear that. I mean, that's how the people feel. It's amazing that the way, I think you're probably internationally like that. I think anywhere you'd go, you'd get that.
Well, that helps out. You know, when I'm in the ring, and I like to thank all the people. You made it possible for me to beat up Tommy Hearns. Thank you.
I'll tell you something. I've gotta tell you honestly, that's when I was convinced, and I wasn't alone, you know that. The power you had, I was at that fight. And when you decked Tommy Hearns, and then you decked him and he didn't get up, I said, this guy can hit. I mean, everything, I mean, there were a lot of people thought, yeah, he can hit, but what about when he meets Tommy Hearns? Because everyone thought Hitman Hearns.
That's what you said?
Yeah, now don't get angry, you know what I mean? But after you did that, I could, when he went down, and I know, and he's a terrific guy, and when he went down, when he fell down, when they said it was a slip and he couldn't get up, you knew it's over. I mean, you knew it then. Then you just know it when he just lay down. Oh.
The rest is history, pretty much. When a fighter has a certain instinct, when he hits a fighter and hurts another fighter, not really intentional. I mean, he don't try to kill a guy. He just tries to knock him down.
If he stays there a month, it's not his fault, right?
But when he went down, David, I mean, I knew from that point on that I would do a number on him.
You had it, because when you threw up you had him. I mean, I knew, when you did that, everyone knew it. I mean, it was just a matter of time. There were about 20 punches in there. I never saw anything so, that's 30, when I really
30,
said,
30.
Boy, he can kill. 30? 30. 30. Well, I did this for a second. I missed 5 by doing that. What about, I'm going to the fight tomorrow. I'm a big fight fan. I always have been since I'm a kid. I'm going to the fight tomorrow, and Benitez and Roberto Duran fight in Vegas. And what do you think? Do you have any opinion about it? Would you?
It's going to be a very interesting fight, although personally, I picked Benitez as a winner. I think that he's capable physically, mentally, and psychologically. I think Duran physically is capable of getting to the ring and pretty much defeating anyone except me. Although, you know, the bizarre ending, as they say in New Orleans when I defeated him.
Yeah, I was there.
He walked away with supposedly cramps. I think mentally Duran is not capable of coming back, although I'll be there with HBO, and my presence there pretty much will motivate him because he wants to fight me, and that's the reason he's making a comeback.
Right.
But it's amazing how quickly he was able to get a title fight after New Orleans.
Yeah, I saw him spar. I saw both of them spar. And Benitez is a great fighter, and he looked great. And then I saw Roberto, and I was a fan of Roberto Duran's when he first was the lightweight. He was probably the best lightweight we've ever had in the lightweight division. And he's looking better now than I've seen him in a long time.
Well, he's
physically.
Motivated. Yeah,
he's motivated. I mean, they put him in prison to work out in Panama.
That's crazy.
Well, to stay away from soda water or something, or hamburgers or whatever he eats. Now, let's say that he does beat Benitez, would you give him another shot at it? Because there are a lot of people, I think, and I don't know if you have the question in your mind, and that second fight ended, you were ahead, you were looking good, you were confusing him, it ended early. Isn't there a question in your mind that you'd like to prove to everyone that you can take him?
Well, without question, David, I was going to knock Duran out. Duran didn't give me the justice by walking away. I mean, he called cramps. I mean, I could have called hemorrhoids in Montreal. Really. But I don't think it's right. You know, I said earlier that I wouldn't give Duran a rematch, mainly because it wouldn't be in the best interest of boxing. I was very sincere about that. And then all of a sudden, Tom Hearns comes into focus, and Benitez and Roberto Duran, they didn't want to have anything to do with Tommy Hearns. And now as a junior middleweight, they still don't want anything to do with Tom Hearns. I did away with Hearns, and now all of a sudden Duran is in a position to fight for the junior middleweight crown. I don't know what boxing's really, what direction it's headed, although I'm a free agent.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason the boxing system is threatened by my existence.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to fight Duran, but as a welterweight, I mean, I was able to unify the title against Tommy Hearns. Thank you, Tommy. And that's my territory. If he wants to fight me, come on down to the welterweights.
Right. And you, yeah, okay. I'm glad you didn't miss your hand. You know what I mean? If you would have missed your hand. All right, we're going to come back with more Sugar Ray Leonard right after this. Sitting here with Sugar Ray Leonard. I want to ask you something. When you're sitting there, and what kind of instructions are you getting? I know, what do they say to you? You have 1 minute. Now, let's say a round doesn't go well, huh? And you come back and you sit down. What do they say to you? What kind of coaching do they get? Or, I know you're a fighter who thinks a lot. You got a great brain, so you're doing a lot of your own. But what do they say, like Dundee? What does he tell you?
Angelo and Jenks more than my cornerman. They say, well, if I'm blowing around, they'll say, you're blowing it, let's go to work. But with me, David, okay, I use my own judgment. In other words, I'm giving instructions right from the start, but I'm a professional now. I know exactly what I must do. I'm the one that must execute. If it doesn't work, I'll go back to what they told me to do.
Yeah.
But because I'm taking the punches, they may say, duck here. I'll duck the other way and see whether that's safer. Really, and that's the way it is. But I have an excellent corner.
Yeah, and how do you feel? I mean, all that, you know, it's always said that boxers are our best athletes, best shape of any athlete we have, physical shape. I mean, you take sometimes a brutal punishment, and yet you see them afterwards, or see them the next day, and they're fine, a little swollen or something. How long does it take for that pain to go away? I mean, you had that bad eye in that Tommy Hearns fight.
Makeup.
It was a good job.
No, really. In a fight, a big fight, a major fight, a significant fight, it takes a good 2 weeks. Not really physical, but mentally, because I put more into it, because I'm concentrating, and I'm trying to figure a guy out. And it takes more out of me because it's like a certain high that you have in going to a major fight. I can go back to the first Duran encounter in Montreal. That fight was so big. I mean, it was intense. The anticipation was so great. The expectations, I lost perspective. It was just too big. And it took me nearly 3 weeks to just come down.
After that.
Yeah, it's really tough on
What
me.
about your son, who everybody, you know, everyone loves your son. I mean, you can't miss him in those commercials. It's great. And you know, by the way, you know, he's your son. It's like you are the incredible shrinking man. All of a sudden, there you are, this big. I mean, it's great. What kind of reaction has he had to knowing that you're the fighter? What does he talk about it? Does he ever, like, talk to you about it?
My son just turned 8 November 22nd, and he's aware of what's actually taking place in the ring. He realized how physical it is in those four corners, and after the Tommy Hearns fight, you know, I'm at breakfast with my big eye and everything, and he comes up to me, he said, Daddy. I said, yeah? He said, won't you take up another sport? Try basketball. And he was serious. And I thought that Juanita, my wife, you know, put him up to it. I asked her, she said she don't know anything about it. And before a fight, my son would put his little hands together and pray. He said, please, God, don't let my daddy get hurt.
Oh, that's great. Wow. Yeah, that's great.
That's something.
That's great. That's something. Now, when you were a kid, were you a scrapper? Where'd you grow up?
I was born in Wilmington, North Carolina, but I came to Washington, D.C. when I was about 3.
Washington, yeah.
So I was always a nice kid.
You weren't as... I don't understand. I got the hell beat out of me my whole childhood, and you were a nice kid. Doesn't make sense.
No, I was very nice. I was like a counselor in a sense.
You didn't get into fights then?
Oh, no. I started fights, but I never got into it.
How did you, when you felt that, the first time you stepped into a ring, and you were going to put on gloves, and you started a fight with, what kind of feeling did you go through? I mean, here's another human being coming towards you, and he's going to do damage. He's not there to dance. And you know that. What goes through your head? Like, what am I doing here, and what?
There's always a certain fear. Not fear of losing, but just the mere fact of anticipating something's going to take place. it's a strange feeling. You must get into the ring to experience it. You should try it sometime.
I did. I lasted 1 round. The guy, yeah,
It's
he
a
beat
feeling.
me. Yeah.
When
Hell of a
you're
feeling.
walking out into that, towards the ring, and once you step inside those 4 corners and you stand there and you're waiting for the referee to give the instructions, just stand there waiting, you know. You try to be cool. I always try to be cool for
Yeah,
the
you look
cameras.
cool. You do.
Yeah,
you look
I'd be
cool. You
scared.
do. You
Boy,
look
I'd be
cool.
scared.
Yeah, man, you look cool.
And I'm standing there and I'm trying to stare a guy down. It used to
Yeah, I
work.
know.
I used to look at a guy real hard,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't work anymore, David. But the minute the bell rings, especially if you get the first punch off,
Yeah.
you're okay. I mean, your butterflies go away and you're okay.
Yeah. Well, in your TV show, now you're going, what's the TV show about?
It's a Golden Glove series, Sugar Ray Leonard Golden Glove series. It's a new concept because it's team competition, and it's going to kick off January 30th.
Yeah.
And it's going to be something, amateur boxing. That's what boxing's all about.
Yeah. They're the great fights. I've seen some. I go to some of those amateur fights.
Yeah.
Some of them are sensational.
Well, the kids are prospects for the Olympics.
Yeah. Well, I wish you luck with all your fights, and I wish you luck with your TV show, and you're a terrific guy. We're going to take a break come back right after this message.